This is Justin AMZN on Monday, June 17th, 2019. This is where we left off the video over the weekend. And this is the triangle. We're going to step forward, and we're getting a little bit of a gap up pre-market. This is cool. It comes down and does like this double top thing here. I'm going to extend to the right. And it's like right there is somewhat of a neckline. I mean, it looks like it's going this way a little bit up, but it's really cool that we're getting a gap up right above this level and going on into the open. It opens and runs. It does not pull back. It doesn't pull back to either of these lines. Extend that one to the right. It doesn't do that at all. It just rallies. And I'll show you on a smaller time frame how it could have been played, but it was really hard to grab this thing on a 5 minute. Yeah, it just opened up and just ran. Continue forward, it ran up, didn't get up to another line, didn't quite get up to 1900, and then started to consolidate here into a triangle. That ultimately broke down bearish, retested really nicely here with like this double bottom, but retesting into that apex and then rolled down. Did it roll down to 1880.05? Nope, didn't touch it. Didn't touch it again. You get a double bottom here, a little bit above this. I like this for a bullish move. Waiting for it to retest, and there's kind of a first retest, and then here's like a second retest, and you got a nice consolidation here with the squeeze. You got the momentum starting to go bullish or positive, and it starts to break out here. And so this, there's some resistance here, some old support that broke down. Now it's new resistance. Pushed up through that, came back down and retest. This was a great place to get in bullish, but it just didn't move very far. I mean, it rallied a little bit, but came right back up a little bit closer to the apex than this one did, and then rolled back down. So overall today, it was a pretty small day. The daily, it looks like a great bullish candle. It didn't give a great opportunity to get in out the gate. This candle here that I was comparing this consolidation to, this candle here, the range was almost 17 bucks. Today we had a range of a little more than 20, but it was still somewhat of a challenge to play. You could have been buying down here and then exiting on its way up, but with options, this was a little crazy to hold through just because it lasted for so long. I said I'd show a tighter time frame. I'm going to get rid of these. And if we go down to a 3 minute, you'll see, whoa, that jump around. You didn't even have a bearish candle, or, you only really had this opening candle, getting in above it, a stop below it, that rallied. And then if you go a little tighter down to a 1 minute, this did actually have a bearish candle that was a hammer right below 1880.05, and then this is really hard to see. Let me zoom in on like how this would have been playing out. There we go. Okay, a really small hammer to open, run up into 1880.05, comes back down in this single minute, puts in a much larger hammer, and then another hammer. This is probably the best way to play this, and it would have been on a 1 minute. Would have been very challenging to do unless you're nimble on a 1 minute, and I wasn't even looking at it because I have not practiced very much on a 1 minute. But you could have been getting in like 1880.50 by probably 1875, something like that, or just getting, I mean, it's Monday, so options are a little more expensive. You could have been doing an absolute zero, looking for a move, but it rallies out of here. So it just goes, runs up, and you would have been taking this run up, or you could have been taking this retest, this pullback here that didn't quite come back down as far, but 1881 was a nice low and came inside of this candle. So that would have given you a couple more minutes, literally 2 more minutes to get into on a pullback, and then that rallied nicely. It did end up pushing a little bit higher than this. This is a little S curve here. But the only way to do this is to be ready to do it on 1 minute and to have really practice and set that up. If we look, so let me switch this back to the 5. So if we look at the open candle or the open prices, the 1925 calls opened up around 5. If I look at this on a 1 minute, it had a low in here similar to how it had a low from Friday, but where I was saying to get in, like on this bearish candle or above it, would have been like 6 by 5, and then that went up to 8 or even 9. But I mean, that's only 2R on its way up to $8. This is on a 1 minute, so you're very quickly risking that R 6 by 5 to gain 2R. Only, let's see, 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 5 or 6 candles later, 5 or 6 minutes later. So that's how quickly this can move on that kind of a gap. It just didn't move the way I was really looking for it to do that. Let's see. There we go. That's why I like to see it. Okay. It was too late if you waited for that first 5-minute candle, even as it pulled back to here and bounced. I mean, it didn't even go very far. It didn't even go an R, really. Then it pulled way back over here, and this was that double bottom here, and then a retest. And so you're losing that premium on the 1925 call. You could have really gotten into this at these same lows. So the low here is 425, the low here is 421, the low here is 410 again. So you could have been doing 425 here, but where's your stop? Is it at 4? Is it at 375, 350? Let's say you were able to do 425 by 375. That would have been 50 cents. You could have gotten 2 of these to make your $100 R, and then that actually would have moved 2R up to 475 here. So that could have worked, but again, it's just a matter of being nimble on this kind of a move. And the 1925 didn't really have a lot of volume through here either, so it was a little bit spready, I think, during the day today, even through this. But you could have been buying here on this low with the squeeze forming, and then that pushed higher. You would have been exiting at this high, which would have been a little bit higher than this one. So it would have been a nice target. So there were some opportunities to trade that that way. On the bearish side, getting in bearish here for a rollover, or bearish here for a rollover, or probably this candle for a rollover. There was a couple opportunities there. Getting in, this was the consolidation. Getting in on this kind of a retest, this at 1045, 1050. That's where this retested here. And so there was an opportunity to get in at this price on the put, where I think this candle right around 10 o'clock was. Let's see, yeah, right around 10 o'clock, I put in a low of like 620, 619. You could have been getting in like 650. It pulled back just enough to get there. 650 by 6, again, getting 2 of those to have your $100 risk, and that moved up to 750, even a little bit past. But it didn't quite get down to 1880.05 if that was your target, and so maybe you held through this expecting it to do it here, and then as it doesn't get there on this candle, you're getting out, and oops, wrong way. That would have been getting in at 650, holding through this. It doesn't quite push far enough up to get there at 750. That was your 2R mark, and all of a sudden it starts to pull back, and you're out at 7. So you got it at 650, you're out at 7 with 2. That's an R. That still works. It just didn't. The chart didn't work out as well as one would hope it to do on this sort of a move. So overall, pretty quiet day, but we do have on the daily higher highs and higher lows with a gap in here. So we'll see if we do something like this, where we have a really small candle, even smaller, like under $15, and just sit on this level another day. If we do that, that's actually 5 bullish candles in a row. We've got a little bit of resistance here. We pushed through with the high, but really didn't get a close up there. The high in this candle was 1893.70, and I think let's see, 1893.60 is our close. Yeah, so we didn't even get above that close on a 5-minute to really get above the high. So this was really good resistance coming in here. An open price on this one was nearby. So it's 1893 price, was playing out, but we'll see if we can hold something here. The other thing we could do is we could do a bigger S curve and pull back down. I do like if we pull back into the 5, which is really about the same price as our 1863.84 line. 1863.84, yeah. So we could pull down to the 5 or to this line tomorrow and see if we can get a bounce going. But if we get a bearish candle tomorrow to pull back to that, it's kind of wait and see. Can we get going up again? Can that be the S curve on a smaller time frame? Or is that about to collapse down to like the 21 or down into anything down here? Because if you kind of take a step back and look at this, we've got an inverted head and shoulders here that really needs a better shoulder on the right side here. So I'm moving my cursor. Let me see if I can sketch what I'm seeing real quick. Something like this. Could we actually come down to somewhere in here, make the bears all think that, okay, we're going way lower because we've gotten a close below this, but we do close the gap. We bounce off of this uptrend line, and could that happen this week before Friday's expiration? I mean, it could get there to do that if we've got some good bearishness coming in, which the other way to look at this, okay, let me clear all this. The other way to look at this is we've got this kind of a triangle instead of the symmetric one that I was drawing like that. So don't want to discount that possibility. We did have a nice little move today. But, if I redraw, let's see, can I undo it? Hey, I can undo it. If I redraw this horizontally here, and then keep this one drawn this way. I mean, it gives the opportunity for another small candle tomorrow. And then from there, we'll see, okay, what do we do? Do we go down? Do we go up? So, I like this, that it worked out for today. I just was looking for a larger candle, and this being an S curve that was going to move further today. So we'll see if we can actually continue, or if we're going to do something. Oops. Undo, or if we'll do something more along these lines. So I guess we'll have to wait and see. I'm going to duplicate this, and I'm going to move this one over here and see what happens. Let's see if we can edit this. Nope. All right, I'm close enough. Sketching it in rough. We'll see if, no, it doesn't, I thought it would translate into this. All right, we'll see what tomorrow holds, and if it does anything in this range, and then what could happen going on for tomorrow. I'm actually going to, yeah, we'll color these differently. Can I highlight them all? It's just, oh, it probably doesn't let me edit the color either. Oh, maybe it will. I just want to highlight it a little bit different, just because we're doing something really short term on this, and it's already confusing seeing so many lines. Okay, let's see if something happens with these. This will be our focus tomorrow. See, do we do something in this range, this range, or do we move down or move up out of this? So, I mean, those are the three directions, obviously, but really we just have to wait and see what the market's going to do. So there's a smaller triangle on this one. I'm always seeing triangles, so bear with me on this one. Something like, oops, something like this and that. Oops. If I just connect a couple of points. So that's a nice consolidation on a 5 minute. The other ones I just drew in are kind of more so like daily, hourly, well, you know, still intraday, so probably hourly. But we'll see if this one is going to let us continue up or, you know, continue in that sort of continuation pattern going up, or if something else is going to make this change directions here. So it'd be amazing if we made it up to 1925, if this just rallied bullish. It by no means has to get up here tomorrow. So we'll see what kind of move we have. And if we can do another gap up, look for a retest and continuation then. But just keep finding the stops and, you know, be prepared for anything to come in and change it up. So let's see. Look at 15. Does that look any better? No, that doesn't really help. Oops. Is it a 30? Oh, that's interesting. I have something turned on that shows a triangle that's really, this triangle is really similar to my triangle. Oh, and that triangle is really similar to mine. That one's got a bearish target range in this red box here. This one has a bullish range, and we actually got into that range target today. So I don't remember what setting I have turned on that does this. Oh, triangle. Of course. It's something that looks for triangles for you and doesn't really see them on really small things, but it's seen it on the 15 or on the 30, so that's cool. That actually is kind of cool. Triangle, this is the S curve. You got an indecision candle on the hourly, and which way is it going to go? Go above it, get above 1890, continue up, get below 1882, go lower, or at least go down and see if it does a double bottom off of 1880.05. So I kind of like that just for the S curve look. Let's see. I don't remember if those lines are still on there. I don't think those lines are still on there. At least they don't translate here. Okay, I got 4 hour. Let me see if 4 hour shows anything. Oh, that's a mess. Ignore the 4 hour. Look at all these. Oops. Look at all these messy triangles back here. That doesn't make any sense. But I think I need to delete some of these things that didn't translate to these other time frames. So get rid of these. This is just me cleaning up the chart because I haven't looked at this in a while. And I thought I had, there you go. I think I remember these triangles that I was drawing in back here somewhere. So, okay, I think I did it all mine. And here we are now. We'll see what we do. This does not look as good on the 4 hour. I guess really the hourly is the only place that looks so clean. We've had this massive move, really nice consolidation, breakout, S curve, and now it should continue. That's what this looks like. This should continue up, and it just means that we've got to have a really strong day tomorrow to move it out of this range. So that's what I'm looking for. If we can get out of this range, retest back to 1893, look for it to continue higher. If we get range bound by this, look for this to double top, pull back, probably to 1863.84. That'd be a nice target for a double top, and then see what happens down here again. So I guess we'll see what happens tomorrow, and probably the next day a little bit too. So hope you enjoyed this video. This is Justin AMZN. Thanks.